For centuries, you've been fed a devastating lie. That aloof creature sleeping in your home is actually an apex predator secretly harboring a terrifying, biological obsession with your soul. Watch until the very end, because your entire reality is about to shatter. For centuries, humanity has been fed a devastatingly beautiful lie. A calculated psychological scam playing out right inside the quiet corners of our own homes. People look into the eyes of their cats and see a cold, indifferent roommate. The mainstream narrative relentlessly pushes this tragic myth, painting these creatures as calculating sociopaths who view you as nothing more than a glorified can opener. I am here to tell you that this is an absolute fabrication, an insult to the profound mechanics of nature. The truth hidden behind those glowing eyes is so much deeper, more intense, and emotionally overwhelming than society ever prepared you for. Before we tear down this matrix and reveal the agonizingly beautiful reality of what is truly happening in your living room, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button to support us and give the channel the absolute drive to keep delivering these hard-hitting truths in the future. At Vong and welcomes you to a journey that will permanently alter your perception of the animal kingdom. Let us strip away the cheap, amateur myths perpetuated by those who do not understand the mechanics of power, evolution, and deep-rooted psychology. We are not talking about pack animals here. Dogs have been selectively bred for thousands of years to beg for your approval, to surrender their entire autonomy for a simple pat on the head. But the creature sleeping softly at the foot of your bed? That is a biological masterpiece. An apex predator. A solitary, silent hunter forged in the unforgiving fires of evolution. Now, I want you to truly think about the absolute gravity of this reality. When a creature biologically engineered for solitary survival lowers its ancient defenses to sign a lifelong, invisible emotional contract with you, it is not doing so for a free meal. It is an alliance born of a profound, almost terrifying vulnerability. True animal psychology, stripped of its clinical coldness, reveals a truth that should bring tears to your eyes. The emotional tether a feline forms with its chosen human literally rivals the neurological and psychological bond between a mother and her newborn infant. They just do not operate on the loud, needy frequency of a sycophant. Their love is a quiet, heavy anchor in a chaotic universe, spoken in a language of silent devotion. Today, we are not just observing casual animal behavior. I am handing you the sacred blueprint to the 7 secret signs that prove your cat is deeply, fundamentally obsessed with you. If you have spent your life blinded by the illusion of their aloofness, prepare to have your entire reality completely shattered. Understanding these sacred signs is the razor-thin line between being a clueless bystander in your own home and becoming the respected, deeply loved anchor of a primal soul. To truly anchor that primal soul, we must first recognize the sheer weight of their physical surrender, beginning with an act so subtle that most humans completely miss its profound gravity. The first and second signs of a cat's absolute obsession with you revolve around a terrifying, willingly induced blindness and the exposure of their most fatal weaknesses. In the unforgiving hierarchy of nature, closing your eyes in the presence of another creature is an invitation to death. Yet, when your cat sits across the room, locks onto your gaze, and deliberately, agonizingly slowly lowers their eyelids, they are fundamentally overriding millions of years of survival instincts. This is not a sign of exhaustion. This is the feline kiss. It is a deeply deliberate psychological broadcast that says they trust you with their very existence. They are momentarily blinding themselves in your presence to show you that they feel no threat. But the vulnerability does not stop at their eyes. When your cat rolls over to expose their soft, unprotected underbelly, you are witnessing the ultimate dismantling of the apex predator's armor. The belly houses their most vital organs, and in the wild, exposing it is a guaranteed death sentence in a fight. They are not asking for a belly rub, like a subservient canine might. They are offering you a breathtaking display of pure, unadulterated trust. They are physically demonstrating that in the sanctuary of your shared space, they do not need their armor. It is a silent, desperate plea for mutual respect, a biological white flag raised not in defeat, but in absolute devotion. If you reach out and violate that trust with a clumsy, aggressive pet, you prove the matrix right. But if you simply acknowledge this offering with a gentle, respectful gaze, you begin to speak their ancient language, validating the immense emotional risk they have just taken for you. While this physical surrender establishes the foundation of their trust, the next phase of their devotion shifts into a silent, chemical claiming of your very existence. The third and fourth signs transcend mere physical proximity, diving deep into the microscopic, invisible world of pheromones where a cat truly maps out its family. Mainstream society loves to joke that a cat rubbing its head against you is just them using you as a scratching post, but the reality is staggeringly intimate. When your feline companion initiates a headbutt, pressing their forehead or cheeks against your skin, they are executing a sacred ritual known as bunting. They possess specialized scent glands on their head, and by pressing them against you, they are violently, affectionately marking you as their own flesh and blood. You are no longer just a fixture in their environment. You have been chemically baptized into their tribe. They are interweaving their biological signature with yours, creating a shared communal scent that tells their primal brain you are family. This is why you will constantly find them sleeping directly on your discarded clothing, your pillow, or that one specific blanket you use every night. They are not just seeking warmth. To a creature ruled by olfactory sensory input, your scent is their ultimate comfort blanket in a loud, unpredictable world. When you leave the house, the silence is deafening to them, but burying themselves in the heavy aroma of your worn sweater grounds their anxiety. It is the feline equivalent of holding onto a photograph of a deeply loved one while they are away. They are desperately trying to mingle their scent with yours, ensuring that even in your physical absence, the profound chemical marriage between your souls remains entirely unbroken. It is a quiet, tragic romance, played out entirely in a sensory dimension we cannot even perceive, yet it represents a level of emotional obsession that defies human comprehension. This intertwining of identities inevitably spills over into your daily routines, transforming your feline companion from a passive observer into a relentless psychological shadow. The fifth and sixth signs dismantle the cruel myth that cats are solitary, independent creatures who only tolerate your presence. Have you ever wondered why you cannot even walk into the bathroom without a small set of paws sliding under the door or a furry body wedging itself between your feet? They follow you from room to room not out of boredom, but because they have appointed themselves as your silent overwatch. In the wild, cats are both predators and prey. They understand that a creature is most vulnerable when it is eliminating, sleeping, or completely distracted. When your cat insists on being in the bathroom with you, or perches quietly on the edge of the kitchen counter while you cook, they are guarding your blind spots. They are standing sentinel over the giant, clumsy human they have chosen to love, ensuring nothing hunts you while your guard is down. It is a profound, exhausting duty they take upon themselves entirely out of devotion. Accompanying this vigilant shadowing is perhaps the most incredible evolutionary adaptation in the history of domestication. They created a bespoke language specifically for your ears. Adult cats in the wild do not meow at each other. They communicate through scent, body language, and subtle environmental markers. The meows, the complex trills, the demanding chirps, and the deeply resonant, healing purrs are an entire vocabulary they engineered entirely from scratch, exclusively to bridge the communication gap with you. They studied your reactions, memorized your auditory triggers, and crafted a customized symphony of sound to tell you when they are anxious, when they are content, and when they simply need to know you are paying attention. Their purr is not just a sound. It is a resonant frequency scientifically proven to heal bone density and lower human blood pressure. They are literally vibrating their own bodies to heal yours, acting as a living, breathing emotional anchor. Yet, all of these vocalizations and silent vigils are merely a prelude to the final, most misunderstood sacrifice an apex predator can make for its chosen human. The seventh and final sign is the one that breaks my heart the most, because it is so often met with human disgust rather than the awe it truly deserves. When your cat brings you a toy mouse, a crumpled piece of paper, or, if they have outdoor access, an actual lifeless creature, society tells you they are just acting on a mindless hunting glitch. This could not be further from the truth. In the brutal economy of the animal kingdom, calories are currency, and catching prey requires a massive expenditure of vital energy. A predator does not give away its hard-earned hunt unless it is feeding its helpless young or providing for an esteemed member of its family who it believes cannot survive on its own. When your cat drops that offering at your feet and looks up at you, they are giving you the highest tribute their biology allows. They are saying, with every fiber of their ancient, predatory DNA, that they are taking care of you. They look at you, this giant, furless creature who never hunts, who never stalks the shadows, and they worry for your survival. They are sacrificing their own predatory triumph to ensure you do not go hungry. It is the purest, most selfless act of love a hunter can muster. When you compile these profound truths, the blinding vulnerability, the chemical baptisms, the silent guardianship, the bespoke languages, and the ultimate sacrificial tributes, the feline matrix completely collapses. The lie of the aloof, indifferent cat shatters into a million pieces, leaving behind only the staggering, heavy reality of a creature that loves with a terrifying intensity. They do not hand you their heart loudly or aggressively. They weave it quietly into the fabric of your life, demanding nothing but a mutual, silent respect. If you can learn to read this sacred blueprint, you will realize that you are not just a pet owner. You are the absolute center of a tiny, perfect universe, fiercely loved by a masterpiece of nature who chose you, against all evolutionary logic, to be their entire world. The myth of the aloof, independent feline is nothing more than a profound misunderstanding of a complex, ancient love language. When we piece together the deliberate slow blinks, the exposure of a vulnerable underbelly, and the sacred chemical baptism of bunting, we see an apex predator willingly dismantling its survival instincts for the sake of connection. Your cat does not merely tolerate you. They weave their entire existence into yours. By guarding your vulnerable moments in the bathroom, inventing a bespoke vocal language just for your ears, and offering their hard-earned hunts as a tribute to your survival, they elevate you to the absolute center of their universe. This is a quiet romance played out in microscopic pheromones, healing resonant frequencies, and vigilant shadowing. Recognizing these signs completely shatters the illusion of feline indifference. Instead, it reveals a creature of terrifying emotional intensity and pure, unadulterated devotion. They do not demand subservience or loud declarations. They ask only for mutual respect and a gentle acknowledgement of the immense biological risks they take daily just to love you. To be chosen by a cat is to be given a masterclass in silent devotion, proving that the deepest bonds are often the ones whispered in the quietest, most subtle languages. True devotion rarely speaks the language we expect. We often measure love by conventional human standards, loud declarations, overt physical touch, and obvious dependence. However, the feline world teaches us that the most profound love is often quiet, intensely observant, and rooted in deep, unspoken vulnerability. Just because affection isn't expressed in the exact way you are used to receiving it, does not mean it is any less intense or real. Take a step back in your daily relationships, both with your pets and the humans in your life, and start looking for their unique, quiet acts of devotion. A loved one might not always use grand words, but they might consistently brew your morning coffee, check to make sure your doors are locked, or simply sit quietly in the same room to share your space. Learn to recognize, translate, and validate these bespoke acts of care. Stop projecting your own expectations onto others, and instead, learn to read the unique ways they choose to show up for you. By adjusting your perspective to appreciate these subtle, everyday sacrifices, you will cultivate a much richer, more empathetic connection with everyone around you. Which of these profound signs does your cat show you the most on a daily basis? Please share your experiences and perspective in the comments section below so we can all read and appreciate your unique stories. If you found value in this deep dive into the feline mind, please subscribe to the channel to support our work and give us the motivation to keep bringing you more great content like this.